Okay, hi everyone. It's so lovely to be back. Great to see you again. If we haven't met yet, to all the newbies, hi, I'm Brooklyn. What I wanted to do today is just talk with you about how to terminate therapy with a client. So it's going to happen in private practice for all kinds of reasons. You may need to close therapy altogether for maybe your own health reasons. Maybe your practice is changing direction. Are you no longer going to work with a particular presenting challenge or type of issue? Maybe you're moving out of trauma focused or trauma informed counseling and you're going to go and do something else. Or maybe there's just something that's happened with the therapeutic relationship. And for whatever reason, you feel like you can't be the best therapist for this client anymore, and you have that level of awareness and insight. So how do you actually go about the process of terminating therapy? Well, it doesn't need to be emotional. It doesn't need to be charged for you. In fact, if you are a member of an organisation such as Australian Counsellors Association or PACFA or even somewhere else, ACCA or AHHCA, like there's so many membership groups, IICT, there's so many groups that you could be part of, but they will all have their own code of ethical practice. And within that code of ethical practice, there will be guidelines for you that you can easily follow that tell you exactly what to do and how to terminate therapy with a client. In general, I would love for you to, before you terminate therapy, familiarise yourself with the code of ethics of any and all organisations you're with so that you can make sure that you have peace of mind knowing that the way you have closed off the counselling relationship has been in the highest good of the client, has had their duty of care adhered to, and is done in a way that's very, very safe for the client, and it's also in integrity for you as the therapist, as the counsellor, as the owner of the private practice. Not all membership bodies will recommend or say this as part of their guidelines for you, but I feel that if you're closing off therapy, irrespective of the reason, there are an additional 2 steps that you might want to consider taking. And you can discuss them in supervision, of course, but my suggestion would be consider providing a document to the client that's got the contact details for 2 or 3 other practitioners, either in their demographic location, so in their physical area, or within the area of the presenting problem or challenge that they first came to you for therapy about. Okay, so if it is trauma, for example, I want you to really consider providing contact details for 3 other trauma counsellors or 3 other trauma counsellors in the area, within like a 30k radius. So think about including that. I think it would just make you feel like you've ticked all your dotted I's and crossed T's and ticked your boxes. And I think it's in integrity to do that. The other thing that I would recommend that you do is if that client was referred to you by a third party, maybe it's somebody in your network, maybe it was a GP, maybe it was another practitioner. If you have consent from the client, which you should have because you would have already been corresponding with the initial referrer, what I would love for you to do is let the client know that as part of the process of closing their file, that you will also be notifying the referrer that you're no longer working together, just so that you can close off that energy loop, you know what I mean? So let the client know that that's going to happen, and then do the right thing and send that initial referrer a letter to say, hey, do you know what? Thank you so much for sending this client. They've attended a certain number of sessions. Their progress has been like this. This is what I recommend would be the most helpful for this client moving forward. They've been notified that therapy has concluded now. And I've provided them with some contact details for other practitioners who might be a really great match, a really great fit based on where the client's at now. And yeah, if you have any questions, of course, feel free to call me. This letter is written, you know, with consent from the client. So I would definitely add those 2 extra steps onto your process for terminating therapy. The other thing that I can suggest to you that could be super duper helpful is just for yourself, you know, for your practice. If you don't have them already, you should definitely start compiling SOPs, you know, standard operating procedures, because it's possible that as you get busier in your private practice, you may need to call in people like contractors or admin or virtual assistants or whoever, bookkeepers. You may need extra people coming and supporting you in the business. And it's just going to make everybody's life so much easier if you have a procedure that everyone can follow so that you've got consistency. So maybe use this time as an opportunity to create your own standard operating procedure for termination of therapy. You don't have to use that word termination either. It's not a very nice word, is it? But like closure, therapy closure, or, you know, whatever terminology you want to use. But yeah, write out your standard operating procedure so that then should you down the track want to give work to a contractor, you will have your own little manual there and they will know exactly what the expectation is in terms of your practice and how your practice deals with wrapping up therapy with clients. Okay. So I hope that this was super helpful. If you have any questions about this or anything to do with your private practice, of course, ask away in the group because I love to help. And there's so many of us all in this group at all different stages of private practice. And we can all be such an amazing resource for each other. I've just gotten off a group coaching call this morning with the people in the Private Practice Success Hub. So if you're not there, you might want to consider going and joining. It's just, it's so much fun. There's a portal there with so many resources to help you with your private practice. And I created it because I understand that not everyone is in a financial position to go and get help for their business, especially when you're just starting. So this is a way where you can get checklists and tools and coaching and resources and community and accountability and support and all those things that are so important and so instrumental when you're getting started in private practice. And it's just $7. So yeah, if you're needing that sort of help and you would like that and it sounds good to you, come over and join us. We would love to see you, love to have you there. And you know, some of the shares this morning from people who are in the group, just amazing. Somebody used a resource in there and got her first client. Somebody else used a resource in there and added a booking button to her website, and then she got an inquiry call, and then using another resource converted that call to a paying client. And it's so much fun. And yeah, I want you all by the end of the year to know how to set up a private practice, to have your marketing in place so that you can not stress about summer being a quiet period in your private practice. It doesn't need to be. Allow yourself to tap into the resources that are there. And yeah, if you need anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm not an email person. You can't contact me on email, but you can contact me in the groups. I live my life online. So if you ever need anything, please just send me a little message or pop a little post up or a comment in one of our groups, and I'll always get back to you within 24 hours, if not sooner. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope this was a helpful video, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday in our next video. Okay, have a lovely day, everybody. Bye.